Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for December 8th through the 14th, 2025. So, before we begin, let's just take this moment to set an intention for this reading. And the angels are asking us all to just open our hearts. And you might want to place your hand over your heart or both hands. And as you open your heart, they ask you to breathe in rose pink light and love into your heart chakra. And just take several deep breaths, filling your heart chakra and your entire aura with rose pink love and light. And just keep doing that until you feel it or see it or sense it expanded around you as wide as you can imagine. And let it flow through all of your chakras and then deep into the crystalline heart of Lady Gaia. And send this out into your week. Just imagine yourself walking along the timeline of this week. And the path in front of you, you fill with this rose pink light of love. You can either see yourself walking from one day into the next, carrying and spreading this love wherever you go, touching whomever you will meet. And see it engaging all kinds of opportunities and blessings and solutions. Allowing yourself to be fully inspired by divine guidance of love. And so it is. And they want you, they're writing the word Sunday, so they really want you to just see the accumulation of love that you have gathered and earned for yourself, and that you have so much overflowing and fulfilling in your life, that you have plenty to carry and send forth into the following weeks ahead. And just trust that it is done and that it is there for you when you need it. So I'd like to welcome everyone to this weekly Ascension messages. And if you're new to our Angelic Wisdom community, welcome. If you'd like to take a moment now to subscribe to the channel, like, and of course leave your comments. Also, if you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And I will be going away for the Christmas holidays. So I would say from the 22nd or something like that. And I'll be back after January 5th. If you would like to just support my channel with a donation, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com. I'm sorry, you can use my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. And if you want to get a reading with me before I leave, I'm available on Saturdays after 2 p.m. to about 6 p.m. Now, the deck that we're using is a new deck, and it's called Tarot Landscapes. And you can see that the illustrations were done by Yoshimari. And so this is mainly going to be a tarot deck that, well, I don't think I saw any people in it. I'm not very familiar with the deck, but looking forward to seeing what messages come through as a result of working with the deck. So let's tune into this week. For December 8th through the 14th. And interesting. I felt like I was seeing someone standing in a window, like maybe a bay window. Definitely felt like living room or an office, but a very comfortable space, a space where you've kind of really made, it could be your personal space where you do your spiritual work as well. And I was seeing sort of a crystal ball sort of hovering above a cloud within the space. And so it gives us this sense of being, needing to really be centered in our spiritual space. You know, we can't always be in a physical space, but we definitely need to carry that awareness with us wherever we're going. And, you know, really tuning in. That crystal ball on a cloud reminds me of sort of like the tarot cards, when there's a hand in the say the Pentacles or the Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Cups or Ace of Wands kind of idea, where the universe is really trying to bring you clarity of some nature. and really want you to really stay connected and really listen. So, I mean, the idea of using the crystal ball is that usually people want is something they are looking for, and it may mean that, before taking action, take time. You know, as soon as you go within, you create sacred space for yourself. Okay, and they're showing me a bridge. Sort of like looks very similar to the George Washington Bridge or the bridge in San Francisco, I think the Golden Gate Bridge. And so there's a sense of crossing, and it might be about trying to bridge, maybe thinking something through carefully before you travel is the first thing that came to my mind. Really following your guidance. Don't try to force things to work, or happen. Really think about is this part of your plans? Is this what you want for yourself at this time? And, sometimes there's a lot of voices, right? And people wanting our attention, but what do you need during this holiday season? And making sure that you give yourself that, and making sure that you're aware that as much as this season tends to put our focus on, everyone else and the hype of this season, you got to remember a lot of it's just, commercial, right? And so we can't get caught up into the commercial system and, kind of making it the same as our own spiritual system, right? So we have to be very clear about that, as we are seeing right now. Like, it's almost like our society, there's so much about our society that's just clashing, that's not really resonating anymore as truth. And so this has given us an opportunity. I mean, it makes us all upset seeing our world splinter and seeing people hurting others with intensity and intention. But it's also given us an opportunity to break free from the bonds of a society that really doesn't support our spiritual goals and the reasons that we all came here on the planet at this time in our incarnation. And so I feel as though they're really trying to draw you to yourself, because in terms of your own self-healing, because the world is really going through a powerful purge, transition, and release. And so so many things that sort of the fracturing of things is the most powerful form of healing, and it shows our readiness. But we can't get distracted by all of that stuff out there that's going on in the society. And I know that we are here to participate in, we don't want to turn a blind eye and let people do whatever. And that's not what I'm talking about at all. But you can't be distracted from the incredible renewal of your soul and that healing that is a part of that renewal, that is really a planetary one. and it is going to powerfully benefit you and everyone else. So don't worry that you won't be in place for something that you feel called towards. But it's just making sure that you have the strength and the renewal of mind and consciousness, of heart and awareness to really be anchored in your divine missions. So it starts on our individual platforms, those things that are going on in our lives, those things that we just tend to do by rote and give ourselves to, and then we complain about various aspects of those things that we do for whatever reasons, because we feel obligated to continue in these roles, and at the same time we're shedding them. And then it feels like you feel naked. You don't know who you are, you don't know who to be, and what is the role. Where the role is most clear in that vulnerable state. It's not in finding a new role that makes you feel comfortable. It's being uncomfortable. And then becoming aware of what that is and what it's really asking of you, and how truly free you are in expressing yourself, of opening up yourself to what it is that you truly desire. And Archangel Raphael is coming through to just let you know that he can guide you on this journey of authenticity and truth, and can help you adjust in perspective to this new state of abundance. It's new, it's rare, it's new to you, not new to the universe. It's rare to you, not to the universe. But it's where you'll find yourself truly. I don't know why I keep seeing a fanny pack that also looks like a hammock. And I think what's interesting about the two is the fanny pack is sort of like the minimum of what you should be carrying. So if you're trying to sort of pare down in any way, shape, or form, it's even less than that, far less than that. And it's about the resources that you really need. And, the hammock might be one, obviously rest, and more time in nature, or more time to rest in your own nature, your own true nature, who you truly are. and to really shed as many of those concerns and roles and obligations in order to find that rare purpose and authentic self that has been sort of underneath the burdens of all of those other things. So let's take a look at the Archangel that we're working with this week. Okay. And so it's Archangel Joules. And it says, align with the highest, go with the flow. Okay. And so Archangel Joules is the archangel of the oceans, and just letting yourself, you know, just trust the flow. And that becomes like trusting where you are, what you're feeling, what you're being, what you're needing, what inspires you. And that can be hard too when all of that is clear to you, but at the same time, you don't feel free to just give yourself to that. Well, one thing is that you don't have to, if you don't feel free to go with it, then just feel free to stay out of the way. Meaning, don't worry. Pray instead for what you need, as you understand that your prayer is a lifeline to the calling forth the support of the universe and God to just work things out on your behalf. Then just go with the flow. What I've discovered in the last month is just the inspiration that you receive, go with it. Pay more attention to the inspiration rather than your fears. And that inspiration will drown out your fears, as it just proves to you how wonderful things will work anyway. And then you get more comfortable with letting go of being worried up. Because the expectation of inspiration is just plentiful. And when you're stuck again, pray for that. Just keep praying for it. Even down to the last minute. So sometimes there's details that we just can't seem to nail down. Those small details. You got the bulk of everything has been done with faith and effort, and then just these little things that just aren't. Pray those out, and but notice the inspiration, whether it's not always going to be about you got to do it, but it might be that somebody else takes it on or takes it up, So just you learn to trust, and you learn to have total faith in that everything, that you're not alone. You've never been doing it alone. You've always had a team. You just had to learn to trust it. All right, so the cards were laid out from right to left. So it's still that internal, personal awareness that transforms the outer reality. Okay, so the Empress is the first card. What do we need to nurture right now? What is it that we really need to nurture? Do we need to nurture more time for ourselves? Do we need to nurture more time to just enjoy the life that we've created? So what is flourishing in front of you or around you right now? And maybe it's time to enjoy that and to sort of take inspiration from that, motivation. I love in this picture, that sunlight that's sort of breaking through. All right, that sunlight that's just sort of breaking through, and the shadows are rolling back. And you take that as a sign of encouragement to continue, the energy of that continue to be motivated by that, continue to be driven by your passion. Don't suppress at this time. Don't try to sort of place borders around it or to rein it in. No, this is not the time to rein it in. This is a time to bloom, to expand. All right, and we have the Ten of Pentacles, and that gives us another very powerful sign and opportunity that what's happening right now is that we are really establishing ourselves. And even if you can't see in the ways that you're establishing yourself, so whatever you've been working on, um, that's now really taking ground. And it's something that you might see that you don't have to now keep working alone to make it happen, that it's feeding others, and they are taking, you know, they're starting to participate in this, and they're taking it, and they will take it in other directions. They will help you to expand it. But it's a feeling of like something's catching on. Okay. And I love that, again, we have sort of this sunlight. Here we have sort of this archway that these trees are making, and the sunlight just coming through. So, this could definitely mean, renewal of energy, or something is starting to open up for you. And so you just need to be ready to go with what is happening and let it show you just how much more it all can be than what you were expecting. So don't be stubborn or limit yourself in any way. And all these cards are really great here because we have the Six of Wands, and it's this sense of reaching a goal, achieving success. And that's why it's really important right now not to get distracted by other things. You might say, God, but how can I enjoy myself in the world that we're living in? Your light, the enjoyment, it influences your light and its expansion, and it's shared with others. It covers others. It lights them up. It helps them to unplug and to focus on building that path of light, just like we were doing in that meditation. That love, that allows love to prevail. That we're just cashing up, banking so much love that love won't go bankrupt, no matter how much fear and evil and wrongdoing seems like it's rampant and totally overshadowing the light. But these cards give us a sense that the light is stronger than it's ever been. And maybe there's some of you that just really need to hear that, because it just seems like the opposite. But, think about it in this way. These people were doing things in the dark, undercover. They were playing like they were, model citizens. And then all of a sudden, they threw all of that away. When people do that, they're desperate. The shadows, the ego, the darkness, they're desperate. They know their time is up. And it's basically like they're doing anything and everything to create the illusion, to continue to feed the illusion that they have power. They don't. Your light, your love, your success, your achievements, your all these under the umbrella of your spiritual goals is supporting the shift of the ages. And so none of us can afford to not find happiness in our lives, in our beingness, because it was never there, out there. It was always within you to access, to unlock. You know, last year was not easy in my role in my job. This year, because I first of all listened to something that I've been guided to do for many years before I started teaching, um, um, at this job, but in my other job, and I finally followed that guidance about how to, set up um, my music program. And then once I did that, it was this huge challenge because now I'm doing this work, classical work, that I'm was doubting whether or not people would be open to it, the kids would be open, et cetera, et cetera. But I listened, and then I just listened to the inspiration. Once I decided I'm gonna listen, then I said, now show me how to involve them. Show me how to be um, how to inspire them, right? I mean, just not everybody else around us that needs some help in changing, but we need it too. Those of us who are trying to bring these things through. So never assume that you are perfect and nobody else is cooperating with you. The universe isn't cooperating with you. We need to ask to be inspired to change in ways that will help us to bring forward what it is that we're trying to achieve. And when we do that sincerely and we really get out of our way, you leave this really powerful experience of happiness for yourself. And it all was done by a lot of effort, a lot of suffering, but the thing that changed it all was really learning to listen to divine guidance and to divine love that has been supporting us all along. And every life every life that you've lived while you've been on this earth has been the creation of that divine love. It's just been the illusion that tries to spin a different narrative, to spin lies, and cause us to spend most of our time complaining and rather than whining and feeling all other kinds of things other than accessing what we have. And it's hard, trust me, I know, because I've been through it, and I've been the worst perpetrator in the worst ways that many of us all have been equally. But when we finally discover that this has all been helping us to just be who we are ready for at this moment, and you have to accept that where you are is what you're ready for. It doesn't mean it's the end. It doesn't mean the story is over. It's never over. It's just always beginning. Always beginning. Because we're eternal beings. And our life within this finite reality is still infinite. There's infinite possibilities available to us at all time. And our sense of time is just really relative to which aspect of ourselves are we tuned into. When we're tuned into our ego, there's not enough time. Time is running out, etc. When we tune into divine wisdom and divine love, time doesn't exist. Experience does. With the ego, experience doesn't seem to exist. It seems only suffering. Or that's an experience too. But we can't even sometimes even realize that there was anything else. All right, so let's take a look at the card from the bottom of the deck. And it's the King of Cups. So this gives us a sense of we have to pay attention to, like, this the feelers is the word that keeps wanting to come to my mouth. All of our senses, our feelers, we have lots of feelers out there in the world. We have to be very aware of each of them and to know what it is that we're drawing into ourselves. And just because we have feelers out there, those feelers keep us aware. They're not a curse. Whether they let you know that something is not gonna feel great for you, or that you need to take some time for yourself. Just trust and honor and feel blessed by your emotional resources and the resourcefulness of your emotional body and intelligence. Trust who you are above all else. I think that's the epitome of the King of Cups. He trusts himself. He trusts what he feels. And this informs what he knows. So really trust yourself. Don't be, where you are. If you're in the, be open, like you see him in this ocean space, right? This is your realm. You own it. You're totally in touch with who you are emotionally. You know it, and you understand others. You have the strongest sense of guidance that you would ever need. And they're showing me sort of it was like a hammock, but then it turned into one of those outdoor chairs. You just need to relax. Keep relaxing as much as you can, because as you relax, all the emotions that you're feeling, they make sense. The more anxious you allow yourself to be or preoccupied, it becomes this noise and chatter that you can't decipher, and it drives one crazy. So focus on relaxing, tuning in, and just receiving what you need from all that's happening around you in terms of your feelings and instincts. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless you.